We're right back. Oh, I know. I had to get my plug up here. How are we doing? Welcome back. Thank you all for being here. Who do we have in the chat? Let's go up to the top, tippy top, and we'll see who all's in there. All right, Pilgrim, first one in the house, like early today, threw the deuces up. Robin Prater, thank you for being here. If you're still here, if not, I'm sure you'll be back on. Perry, Slow Jamming James, hop on down here a little bit. Chaos Prepper with the 5x5. Thank you. Dynamite's here. That's right. Thank you for the disclaimer, sir. Rose, Coffee First. Just exploring every path. Chilling. Then Dylan. Phillips, how you doing? MB. God have mercy, because I won't. Checking in. Awesome. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you're able to chat. That means you are a subscriber, not just somebody on the fly creeping through. Dome Seekers in the house. Got two moderators. Sherry, how are you doing? Thank you for being here. Papa's Farm. Teresa. Count Vlad in the house. Donald Curtis, thank you for the 5x5. Let's hop into some of the breaking news. Okay, Texas law, the new Texas law that was signed that has gives the authorities there the ability to arrest illegals. Illegals, doesn't matter where you're from. Honduras, Cuba, Iran, Nigeria, Chad, Mexico, wherever. Gives them the ability to arrest. The first, according to what I've read and what I've heard, the first offense is automatic 6 months in prison. All right. And then you're deported. Second offense, 20 years right off the bat. 20 years of basically forced labor for the state. But apparently with the prison time, it will be waived. Now, I'm not sure if it's just on the first offense or if it's on the first and the second offense, but they will waive the prison time, the jail time, if they sign a document and voluntarily self-deport, meaning, the state, the taxpayers don't have to pay for it. Okay. If they're willing to be driven down to the border and walk across it into Mexico, and self-deport to Mexico is what it says, apparently. To Mexico, that they'll waive the jail time, which would save us a lot of money in the long run, because we're not feeding them, we're not housing them, we're not providing them with clothing, we're not then paying to have agents put them on a plane back to a home nation, because if they're not from Mexico, they're probably going to have to be deported to their home country. But Mexico apparently is up in arms about this, because it says it self-deport to Mexico. And it doesn't matter where they're from. As long as they're willing to cross the border the opposite direction, they won't go to jail or prison. So, and I could see why Mexico would get upset. But again, if Mexico had stopped them at the other end, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. At least that's how I was raised. Oh, let's see. The Caravan. What else in the news? The Caravan is now, almost halfway up Mexico. No, about the first third up the west coast of Mexico. And there were reporters there basically the migrants had a base camp set up. And apparently from there, some of them are meeting coyotes who are taking them on different routes, different means of transportation, because if they all had to walk from Venezuela all the way up to the Texas-Arizona border, it would take approximately 3 months. All right. Give or take a few weeks here or there, depending on age and abilities. But if they're being put onto buses or planes to fly them closer, trains, who knows, vehicles, Ubers, whatever, then they're going to be arriving a lot faster and in smaller groups that will probably link up with bigger groups just south of the border. And you can expect this. You should expect that they would be getting on buses, things like that, because there are a lot of people, even in this country and other places, that are funding these things, that are, saying, "Oh, hey, I'll take care of, bus tickets, or I'll take care of this." Because think about it, you don't just swim from Cuba all the way to Nicaragua. You don't just swim from the west coast of Africa all the way over to Nicaragua. Someone is paying for transport. And yes, cartels get involved in the trafficking aspect because there's money to be made, and somebody's paying it. Somebody is. The caravan is currently up to around 8,000 to 8,500 people. Started out as 5 earlier this week on Christmas Eve, and is currently went from 5,000 up to about 8 to 8,500, and expected to grow. I say again, those who are doing the whole trip strictly by foot shouldn't get here until about the end of February 29th, because it's leap year, to the first week of March is about the time frame that they'll get there. If they're young and healthy, they can move 20 to 25 miles per day, 1,600 miles, be about that. So if they're older, it's going to be slower, add on another couple of weeks to a month. And if they're taking transport, they could be here day after tomorrow. So there's that. Funny thing about this border issue and this caravan is that there are reports that a lot of the caravan is made up of Nicaraguans, Venezuelans. Pardon me, not Nicaraguans, Venezuelans. But Venezuela is a socialist country. Why would they be escaping socialism? It's so grand, so great, so terrific. Everybody wants it here. At least a lot of people do. So why would you be escaping socialism? Maybe we'll have to ask them when they come. Maybe I'll go down, interview some, say, why don't you love socialism? How come, and we'll figure it out. Maybe they're just trying to bolster up the police force of Los Angeles, Chicago, Colorado, New Jersey, New York, because these are places where it's either legal already or it's in the process of being made legal for there to be illegal aliens as law enforcement officers and carry firearms all the time. Yes, Colorado, it's already legal. California, it's already legal. And Illinois, it's already legal. So if you are in Illinois, there is a chance that you could be pulled over, detained, searched, and arrested by a non-citizen carrying a firearm. How do you feel about that? All right, let me hop in the chat and see if anybody has anything to say. I'm sure every other country is doing the same, cleaning the prisons and mental hospitals. Well, Europe has been, experiencing this for a while as well. Theirs are mostly African migrants, Middle Eastern migrants heading north, and they are having some similar problems. So if you watch like Funky Prepper, or just simply watch the BBC News, Sky News, things like this, bear in mind those ones tend to be slanted quite a bit. But if you've watched this channel long enough, you know how to read through the bullshit, BS. And if you know how to read through the BS, you know that, no matter left wing, right wing, the truth is somewhere in between. They're both going to be fibbing in their own way. So just pick out the key pieces and figure out what the truth is. Because there is no law, especially in this country, there is no law against the media lying to you. Fun fact. So you just learned something. But yes, so maybe they're just trying to bolster their police forces, and then we're going to be seeing it in the military as well pretty soon. Now, yes, you can be a citizen of another country and be in the U.S. military. I've worked with plenty of these guys, but they had green cards. They were here legally, or they legally applied to be in the U.S. military, were accepted, got a green card, authorization to work, and boom, come on over. And they had a green card and they went to the military. But it's only a matter of time because the numbers are down for the military across the board for recruitment before they say, well, I mean, we have illegals that are doing law enforcement. Why not just have illegal migrants in the military as well? Okay. But they can't own a firearm or hold a firearm or even touch a firearm. Nah, we'll waive that part. But not for you. Okay. The Mexican government just recently I believe today, possibly yesterday, are in the process of bulldozing the migrant camps on their side of the border. And what's this going to do? It's going to force those migrants to just shoot on across in mass. They're going to have to get across even faster. That's basically what you're doing. You're burning the field to get the rats to run out of it. So expect to see over the next couple of days an increased volume of people at the border, crossing the border. The numbers will be up just because the Mexicans government decided to bulldoze all the migrant camps. Whew. Okay. Let me hop in the chat real quick. See what kind of question. Nice shirt, Rob. Thank you. Okay, I had some people left some questions, and one of them was, what kind of compass do I use? And we'll get back to some more information here in a minute after this. I use the Camanga that looks like this. All right, it looks like that. And I believe I bought this. This was around $48. No, they're somewhere between 50 and $70, but don't quote me on that. Google it, Camanga. This is a very good compass. If you're looking for a compass, this is what we used in the military. It's got the bezel. You can shoot an azimuth with it. If you don't know what an azimuth is, and you don't know what a bezel is, then after we're done here, go to my videos and scroll all the way to the very first video that you'll find that I brought over from my old channel. And it is a how-to on navigation. Okay. It's about 25 minutes long, 30 minutes long, something like that. So if you want to just jump to the good parts, the azimuth shooting is at like 22 minutes. It's where I'm in the snow and I'm going from one point to another point. The video also has, I'll go over how to do declination. If you don't know what declination is, Google it or watch the video. It also goes on how to figure out position based off of Orion's belt, recognizing the constellation of Orion. For those who do not know, that would blow my mind if somebody couldn't just walk out and go, that's Orion. If you can't do that, then you're behind the curve. All right. So there's that. Wisconsin Farm Boy says, I never get lost. People always tell me where to go. Yes, turn left and off a cliff. Copy. Also down there is the bug out bag for kids video. I think it's like the second or third one up. So if you got little ones or you got grandkids and you've been wondering about bug out bags, how to do something for them, go watch the video. You'll see my little baby sharks a couple years ago running around in the woods with their packs on, having lunch and stuff like that. Someone wanted to know about rifle zeroing. In my opinion, okay, I would zero my rifle, and always have, from at 100 yards or meters. And that would set it up for 300 meters. All right. Because if it strikes here at 100, the round will arc, because this is where it's on its upward trajectory. It arcs and comes back down and is approximately the same point at 300. So anything between 100 and 300, just aim down a little bit. All right. Tracking on that, just a smidge to maintain center mass. All right. If you're doing something more precise, if you want to be more precise, then you need to start getting into erase this stuff before it can't be erased again. If you want more precision marksmanship, look up what's his name? Boy in the Dakotas. Somebody drop it in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. He's friends with Bear. It's not Reed Hendricks, it's the other cat, the real religious. If you know his name, drop it in there. If not, I'll mention it in the chat afterwards. I can't remember his name right now. But yes, so aim small, miss small. Exactly. Rex. Thank you, Count Vlad. Rex was designated marksman. So he does a lot of training on that. So you might have to go to his Patreon or something like that. But he's a pretty knowledgeable individual. So Rex. Yes, Rex Reviews, I believe. And when would I flee Babylon? That was another question that was asked to me. When would I flee Babylon? Unfortunately, right now, my little ones are in this area with their mother. So I will not actually flee Babylon until stuff gets really bad. I intend and have it already made up in my mind that I will be operating behind enemy lines if this area should fall to whomever. Okay, if there's without rule of law, whatever. I have, already went over it in my head. I understand the risk involved, and I have prepared accordingly. All right, I have, associates, and friends, and family in this area. I have people who would hide me from people who would seek to do me harm. I have people who would be able to transport me and others. So I have that well in hand. But if I ever, if it got too bad, to where I thought my little ones were in danger, like impending doom, then I would probably get them, their mother, and everybody else, and we'd all get the heck out of Dodge. Because luckily for me, their stepfather is, even though we don't really communicate, we are of like mind. He is like you guys, like me. All right. He's always watching the government and doesn't trust them as far as he can throw them. So there's that. So, and he's a Second Amendment advocate. And so that gives me some comfort knowing that he'll put lead down range on behalf of my little ones in the event that I'm not there. Okay, Robert Winslow says, Rob, covered declination correction from magnetic to map, azimuth. That's in the video. It's in the video. Okay. So if you go watch that video, I covered it on how to do it and how you have different declinations depending on where you are geographically. Don't care which shape you think the Earth is, the magnetic point is the point. So it works on any map of the Earth. The magnetic declination works on any map of the Earth. And yeah, I just finally got my, I finally got access to GoFundMe, and I'm going to start a GoFundMe for $2 million. And when it hits the 2 million mark, I will launch an expedition heading due south out of New Zealand, and we will either fly across and pop out on the ocean on the other side, or we're going to slam into a big glass something dome. All right? Yes. So there's that. So, I mean, if they only recover a video of me just, flattening, then I'll be like, y'all were right. So compass points to the center. Yes, the compass points to the center for flat earth maps. But if you follow south, you'll still go over the wall because south is out, north is in. So all I got to do is have this handy dandy compass. And as long as north is pointing that way and I'm going this way, I'm either going to go until it flips back around because I'm coming back around the other side of a big curve, or I'm going to have a very bad experience. At like, I don't know, a couple 100 miles an hour. Wham! I wouldn't even feel it, honestly, if you hit a big glass dome at that speed. It's just, lights out. And then I'll be standing there in front of the man going, it was a dome. You were serious when you sent that message down that it was dome. You were serious. My bad. So how many folks does it take to circumnavigate? Like, circumnavigate would be this way. I guess you could circumnavigate that way. Yes. But yeah, only 2 million. Check your sock drawer there, Papa's Farm. 2 million. Because I figure if I'm going to risk my life, well, first, I guarantee I'm going to have permits from somebody. I'm going to have to pay somebody off. 2, I'm going to have to rent planes, helicopters. I mean, who knows? Okay. Guide somebody nutty enough to fly the thing. Okay. Fuel, all that stuff. So I figure, the U.S. military for an expedition would charge you like hundreds of millions or $1 billion. So I figure if I can round up to, if there's enough flat earthers out there that really want to prove everybody wrong, yes. And I'll let you know on here when I actually hit the live button on the GoFundMe. Okay, I put it on here. I'll put it on my Facebook, and I'll put it on X. I'll put it on whatever I can think of. All right, and I'll be like, I'll get to the other side one way or another. All right, and they'll have to shoot me down. And if they're trying to shoot me down, then I know that y'all were right anyway. All right. Because some people are like, well, you'll encounter the royal fleets and stuff. Whatever. We'll find out. And I'll either make a little bit of money off the thing and be able to be like, hey, yeah, I found out that there's a dome, or I found out there's not a dome. Or I don't know, die horrendously. So there's that. And my kids will be like, Dad died at the South Pole. That's awesome. My friend says he's going to Virginia Beach. Oh, you're talking to Coffee first. Okay. Again, if you're typing to me, just put a smiley face. All right. Like one of those big ones. Rent a Chinese spy balloon. You're good. That's right. Balloon. It's a balloon. I can say that because I got Asian kids, so I get a pass for that. That's Asian privilege. In case you didn't know. Okay. So yeah, there's that. What else are we seeing on in the news and on media in general? We're seeing division, and bad guys. Okay, they are ramping us up psychologically, conditioning everybody for something. If you look at just the news, radio, cinema, the movies, newspapers, if you still get them, or even on social media, there is a lot of things that are racist from varying points of views. It's either all about black, all about Hispanic or Latino. It's all about Palestinians, or all about Jews, or all about all these different things. All right. You're seeing races in every form of media. All that does is increase tension. And when things get tense, bad things happen. Okay. So understand that you are being manipulated with. If you have an emotional response to anything you see on the news, on here, all right, other than truth, if you have an emotional response, it's because they're trying to make you have an emotional response. All right. Do I want you to get mad that you're getting manipulated by the mainstream media? Yes, I do, because that'll make you think. Okay. Division, left and right. We're also, even you can see who the bad guys are, who they want the bad guys to be. Because, for example, if you read the news, or you Google something, or you look at the news, you'll see Russian hackers, North Korean hackers, Chinese hackers, Iranian hackers, Iranian-backed rebels, North Korean-backed whatever, Russian-backed separatists. All right. So they're showing big neon pointing arrows at who they want you to focus on as the problem. All right. The Houthis in Yemen aren't the problem. It's the Iranians that are the problem, because if it wasn't for them, they'd have no backing. All right. This is standard operating procedure when you're trying to get people to look and focus on a problem, something that it might not even be a problem, but you want it to be a problem. You get them to focus on, oh, those people are a problem. It's those people. It's those people. All right. You never hear of United States hackers attack this, or United States hackers attack that. You don't think we have cyber warfare programs. All right. You don't think that some of these things are just our people, and we're like, yeah, that's called black psyop. When you do something and make it look like somebody else did it, that is black psyop. It's technically illegal for the military to do it, but it's not illegal for the intel agencies to do it. The three-letter agencies, NSA, DIA, CIA, they're legally allowed to conduct black psyop. So there's that. Key leaders. I want to talk about key leaders real quick, and then I'll hop back in the chat. Neil to no one, you made it. And when I say key leaders, I mean, we see all these global conflicts. All right. We see the wars in Europe, Middle East, potentially in Asia, and even the past wars. It was relevant. We always knew we're going to have World War III or World War II or World War I. We're going to send in and armies, navies, Marines, whatever. We're going to send tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people into battle. But you never see someone saying, well, let's just take out the leadership. Let's knock the head off the snake. Especially in today's, there are movies about, operation with trying to knock off old Adolf there. But if they really, really wanted him, you don't think they could get him? You don't think that Putin knows where Vladimir Zelensky is at almost all times with modern technology, modern spyware, intelligence? And you don't think that we don't know where Pooty Poot is at all times, or that they don't know where Sleepy Joe is? And with the technology, the fact that they can just launch missiles from thousands of miles away and just be dead on target in minutes. You don't see the assassination of key leadership. No, you don't see that, because the people at the top need somebody to maintain control of everything else on the board. All right. You'll take off all the pieces. Think of war, especially, in the past and in the present. It's literally like Risk, the game of global domination. You don't actually want to hurt your opponent that you're playing against. You want to knock all his pieces off the board, put him in the hurt locker that way, so you can boast, brag, and make a ton of money in real life, a ton of money doing it. All right. But if you knock him off the board completely in real life and knock him out, the game stops playing and the money stops flowing. It's game over for everybody because money makes the world go round nowadays. What do we have going on in the chat? I saw a China hospitals thing. Hold on. Let me go over it. China hospital. Of course, I can't control the computer because the computer doesn't like me. How about I go right here and I do like that? All right. Yes, I've seen China hospitals are filling up fast with the new Chinese flu that's out there. Who's it? Silverback 5235. Anyone seen that in China hospitals are full and people are being made to wear masks again, just like 2019? Yes, there's that new pneumonia that's been going across China. We'll see. Keep your eye on it. Pay attention. This is, again, goes back to being observant, paying attention to what's going on around you, locally, nationally, regionally, on a global scale. Pay attention. Doesn't mean you have to believe everything you hear, but at least pay attention so you don't see things coming or not see things coming. Speaking of illnesses, have you heard of the new, I'm sure you have, the zombie virus, the zombie deer virus? Yes, I know. We've had it for decades in this country. All right. But now it's starting to make a resurgence. It's spreading through the population of deer, elk, moose in several countries. Okay. But that's not what concerns me. Let me go back down to the bottom of the chat here. What concerns me, chronic wasting. It's not just chronic wasting. If you actually, let me pull it up here because I have it. All right, it is. The symptoms about a year after getting infected include dementia, wobbliness, drooling, aggression, and weight loss. So, what's that sound like? If you saw something that had dementia, was wobbling around, drooling, aggressive, and skinny, kind of sounds like a real life zombie. I know, Biden, you're wrong, but I mean, you ain't wrong. But what concerns me, now pay attention to this, because this is from the World Health Organization, and we all know that they do some different things, sometimes things that aren't supposed to be done. They say experimental research on the CWDs, the wasting diseases. Experimental. Pay attention to the words that they use. Experimental research on CWDs suggests that it is a possibility, especially if humans eat infected meat, that they could become infected. Experimental research. Could that be gain of function? So what? I mean, I don't think that the WHO or National Health Agency, nothing. I don't think any of those labs, none of the bio labs that aren't supposed to be in Ukraine, or none of the labs that we fund in China, or none of the labs that we have in the South Pacific on the islands, none of the labs that we have in Africa would ever conduct illegal gain of function research to try to improve the lethality of a zombie virus and accidentally release it into the population. I don't think that would ever happen. But what's unconstitutional? Wisconsin Farm Boy. Throw it back in there. But I'm just saying, it has happened before with different viruses. Not necessarily saying it was us. Gain of function? No, it's not supposed to be done here. Yeah, it's why the labs are other places. Yeah, and for example, let me give you an example real quick, Wisconsin Farm Boy. If we in the military rolled up a suspected terrorist in the Middle East, in Iraq or Afghanistan, if we rolled him up and took him into our custody, they had constitutional rights. However, if we were not the ultimate possessors of him, if we were just temporarily detaining this person until we could give him to the Egyptians or anybody else that might work closely with us that had looser or no constitutional rights for terrorists, or the Mossad or somebody like that, then we weren't violating constitutional laws or rights, because all we did was give them to him. That's what we gave them to them. What they did at someplace else and then gave us information back, that was not our fault. We did not do that. Missing their moral compass. Yeah. And that's why, like, if we have labs in other places, it's not our labs. We just said, hey, here's a bunch of money. Should you happen to build a lab, we'll give you a bunch more to make sure that it's safe. And if you should do research like this, then we'll give you more money to make sure that it's really, really safe, so that it doesn't come back to bite us on the butt. And that's how that works. Oh, what just happened tonight? I don't even know what just happened tonight. Quahu, specify what just happened tonight. Quahu. Here we go. I don't know what just happened tonight, and this stupid bar won't go up or down. 2024 is the intro to the final World War. I think the intro, I mean, if you wanted the intro, I think the intro started a while back. I think we're slow rolling. I mean, look how long it took us to get into World War II. It took us a while. Like, it was rolling for a while. I mean, like, it was hard, full steam ahead in Europe. And, before we even said, okay, we'll play the game. All right. It took somebody doing something in Hawaii for us to finally say, all right. I mean, now, and the funny thing is, here you go. Before the thing happened in Hawaii, all right, December 7th, 1941. Before that happened, we had lots of stuff going across and supporting the cause that we ended up getting drug into. And right now, we got a lot of stuff going to multiple places, supporting multiple causes. And it looks like we're getting drug into stuff again. All right. So, yeah, I'm sitting here with the fiddle. I'm ready to play it. Just watching the world burn. It's not about the money. All right. So there's that. I think we covered it. We covered a good bit. We've been on here for 40 minutes. We covered the caravan, socialism, the illegal immigrant law enforcement officers in California, Colorado, and Illinois, the bulldozing of the migrant camps, why you don't see key leader assassinations, the vision. We covered a lot tonight. Anything else you guys would like to talk about? If there's something I missed that you would like me to touch on or clarify, then drop it in the chat right now, and we'll take a look at it. What's happening on the Arizona border? It's basically the same thing as what's happening on the Texas border. They're flooding across. In fact, that'll probably look because Texas. And here's another thing. Since Texas enacted this law where they can arrest them and give them massive sentences, then Arizona is just going to be hit hard. It's going to, I think, in my opinion, the river of migrants is just going to flow the path of least resistance like a river. It's going to go. We'll go over here then to make sure that we can go around Texas. So San Diego or California, Arizona, New Mexico, about to be hit. Someone said all 4 doomsday planes in the air right now. What does that mean? They mean, I don't think anybody would know when our big strategic bombers are in the air. But there are, just like anything else, submarines, Vladimir Putin's super secret sub with a super secret nuclear missile on it, and then nobody seems to know where it's at. Yeah, we have military planes that are outfitted with nuclear weapons that are long range, incredible flight times, and they'll just go up and just wait. And if something should happen, then they're like there went the mainland USA. Our orders are our orders. Just vaporize shit. So, breached by trucks. Oh, I haven't seen what's going on right now, you're okay. Arizona border news. I can find out just about as much as you can right now. And I just typed that. Arizona border breaking news. Not seeing anything right this second. I will find out. If anybody finds out, let me know. Put it in the messages. A literal invasion. No one without a clearance would know that, and anyone with them are 100% not sharing that info. Exactly, Granite State Prepper. That's why I was like, we wouldn't know anyway. Hell, even people who launch nuclear weapons don't know if they're the silo to launch. They just turn a key and push a button, and the computer takes over from there. And here's another thing I would like you to think about is, everyone is always concerned about blue helmets. I've heard blue helmet. If I had a nickel, if I had a penny for every time someone mentioned blue helmets, I would be loaded. And I'm not loaded by any means. But I think that illegal immigrants in the military and law enforcement, just packing the military and law enforcement with that's basically the same thing as blue helmets. And it's foreign nationals in uniform conducting operations on U.S. soil, policing U.S. personnel. Think about that. The blue helmets are currently in California, Colorado, and Illinois. Literal blue helmets. You have foreigners, foreign citizens that are conducting policing operations on U.S. persons on U.S. soil. You're going to keep backing that balloon, huh? How much longer? Illegally, not according to California, Colorado, and Illinois. They've made it legal in their state. So, I mean, that's why I keep telling you guys, don't worry about the laws of man. Don't stop playing by the rules. Why does the left win? Because they actually fight for shit. They do. They actually fight. You will see left protests, and they will crack conservatives in the head with a lock and a sock. Right? They're willing to be arrested to force change. Conservatives are not willing to be arrested to force change. Most conservatives are not willing to risk losing freedom, losing stuff to force change. And until you're willing to fight fire with fire, you will lose. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And when they've already corrupted most of the judicial system and the legal system, which is part of the judicial system, you can't win that way either. Eventually, it's going to have to get down to the nitty gritty. You can either do it before they drastically outnumber you and outgun you, or you can do it after. All right, let's see. 3 years ago, they turned over the biggest naval site to the UN. Wake up, people. There you go, Washburn-Milley. And New York City has an in-camp and supply depot. I believe you're saying UN camp and supply depot at Benoit. We are outlaws, except that you're a criminal now. Become a criminal that stays free. Yeah. And here's the thing. A lot of people won't, because listen, the government shutdown, that's always impending. The government shutdown. And this is going to make me unpopular, I'll probably lose a subscriber or two. Lost a few over the past couple of days. It happens. Not worried about it. If a government shutdown affects you, if it affects you to where you're saying, how am I going to survive? You're doing it all wrong. If a government shutdown directly affects you and you can't function, then you are part of the problem. And now people will say, oh, well, Social Security, socialism, you either like socialism or you don't. I've talked about this dozens of times before. If you draw Social Security is a pyramid scheme. You have to cut it off eventually. Somebody's going to have to take the L. All right. I'll take the L. Don't give me any Social Security, but stop it. Just cancel the program. Anybody my age or older, give it to them what money they can. It should be paying for itself, but it doesn't, because it is literally a pyramid scheme. I mean, Bernie Madoff went to prison for 300 years for the same type of pyramid scheme. But everybody doesn't want him to. Don't touch Social Security. Don't touch it. I mean, you're part of the problem. It didn't used to exist. Now it does, and it feeds the top. It's a literal pyramid scheme. Yes, I get you paid into it. So did I. But at this point, I'm willing to cut my losses so that my children and my grandchildren aren't stuck in the same slave state. Are you willing to do that for your children or your grandchildren? I bet most aren't. What else do we got? Anything? If not, we're going to call it at 50 minutes, give or take. Anything else you want to talk about? Yes, Lady Smith, it's impossible mathematically. It's impossible. But yet these politicians are rich, rocking around in the C-5 airplanes. If you're below 40, they were saying that 10 years ago and 15 years ago before that, as long as they can keep the pyramid scheme going and just give less and less, and it can help make people die off more and have a bigger base. It's a pyramid scheme. And eventually it'll come crashing down, but the whole economy is going to come with it at one point in time. All right. All right. Thank you all for being here. If you have anything else you want me to talk about, if you have any questions, concerns, put them in the comments after this live is over with, and I'll make a list of things, and I'll see if I can address them in the next one. Hold on one second. A government shutdown would affect everyone unless you are 100% off the grid. State and city workers would lose funding, etc. Water and sewer is key, LOL. No, because you don't understand how government shutdowns work. Pay attention. You're about to learn something. When the government shuts down, and this has always been a pet peeve of mine, when the government shuts down, non-essential personnel are not allowed to work. Listen to that. When the U.S. government shuts down, non-essential personnel are not allowed to work. Essential personnel keep coming to work. So if everybody else is non-essential, why the hell do they have a damn job in the first place? That's billions of dollars a year that we're wasting. So there we go. All right. If you don't believe me, Google it. Do your own research. Don't listen to what I say. I'm crazy. I have psychological issues. All right. So there's that. Why are y'all laughing? Yeah, like the essential fast food workers. Exactly. All right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. I love you. God bless. My baby shark daddy loves you, and I'll see you soon. I'm out of here.